What's up guys, and welcome to my Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 4 breakdown video. In this video I'm going to break down what went down in the 4th episode of Kenobi, so spoilers if you haven't seen it yet, as well as give my thoughts and opinions on where things might be going. Stick around until the end of the video and I'll give you my overall thoughts of what I actually thought of the episode. With that said, let's get into the breakdown. The episode starts with Obi-Wan Kenobi having visions of pain and floating in a bacta tank, healing from his wounds that he encountered when he faced Darth Vader and was dragged through the flames. Remember, Vader wanted him to feel pain and suffering, the same that he felt when he was scorched by the lava on Mustafar.
Your pain has just begun.
You can see the echoes of Obi-Wan healing and Darth Vader healing as they seem to have some sort of connection. While in the bacta, and Obi-Wan has visions of the duel that they just had haunting him. He wakes up in a panic wondering what happened to Leia, and of course, as we know, she's been kidnapped by Reva, the third sister. Obi-Wan then reaches out to Roken with Tala to enlist his help to get Leia back from the Empire. After a brief hesitation, Roken agrees to help them. Now Leia's being kept on a water moon planet called Nur, which is located within the Mustafar system. They forge a plan to wedge their way inside with Tala's security clearance so they can make their way to the moon and initiate a plan to get Leia free from the Empire's clutches. So they make their way to Nur, and Tala and Obi-Wan arrive to initiate their plan. Tala was briefly stopped while her security clearance checks out. The officer initially doesn't let her pass as he claims that she isn't on the right sector, to which she replies that she is his commanding officer. I loved how Tala used her influence of rank to persuade the security lead to let her pass. A nice show of force by the commander, and a classic persuasive move that we have seen so many times throughout the years within the Star Wars franchise. Kenobi makes his way inside the Inquisitor Fortress underwater via an entry port that Tala opens up for him. Once inside, Kenobi encounters a stormtrooper and quickly takes him out. Meanwhile, Reva is trying to find the information that Leia is hiding, but she is resistant thanks to her Skywalker bloodline. Reva is unable to get the information that she wants from the princess, so she then tries another method of interrogation by manipulating Leia's droid, Lola. Meanwhile, as Obi-Wan tries to move into Leia's location, through a main corridor, he encounters a seeker droid that is in sentry mode looking for any incoming threats or anything that shouldn't be in that vicinity. Tala continues to guide Obi-Wan, but is then discovered by another Imperial officer who questions her being there. Tala has no choice but to take the officer out. After nearly being discovered by the seeker droid, Obi-Wan scrambles to hide from two incoming stormtroopers who hear his comm link as Tala tries to call back to him. In classic Kenobi form, he uses the same Jedi trick as he did in episode 4 to distract the troopers so he can advance. Reva meanwhile continues to manipulate young Leia, and she continues to refuse. Reva grows impatient and plans to inflict further action to hurt Leia to get the information from her. I found this viewpoint pointless on Reva's part because we know Leia isn't going to say anything unless others are put at risk. She's the type of princess that puts her people before herself, just like she did on the Death Star years later, trying to protect the people of Alderaan. Obi-Wan makes his way into the security sector as Leia is taken to a torture table similar to the one Han Solo faced in Empire Strikes Back. Obi-Wan then discovers what appears to be a Tomb of Jedi. I really wasn't able to make out any of the Jedi that were in this tomb, but if you recognize any of them, let me know in the comment section below. Obi-Wan then informs Tala that he needs a distraction, and just before the chamber is about to go to work on Leia, she interrupts Reva, creating a distraction Obi-Wan so desperately needs. Reva doesn't buy Tala's interruption though and becomes increasingly angry with her. And just then, in the other room, the lights go out and we see a magnificent bright blue glow of Obi-Wan's lightsaber. This was glorious to see, and it seemed as though Kenobi was beginning to get his form back somewhat as he took out the two stormtroopers. As Obi-Wan and Leia escape, a seeker droid spots them and alerts everyone in the facility. Reva's continued frustration with Tala reaches the end of Reva's nerves, and just as she is getting ready to take her into interrogation, the alarm sounds and mayhem ensues. Tala takes out the stormtroopers while Obi-Wan uses his lightsaber to dodge blaster fire from the droids, protecting Leia. I absolutely love this scene, you guys, because this is how Obi-Wan was able to get in his training that he so desperately needed to get his Form 3 lightsaber combat back. Kenobi does an incredible job blocking, deflecting blaster fire back at the droids, as well as incoming stormtroopers. As I said, it was a delight to see, and it made me think of the Obi-Wan of old, who was an expert swordsman. As they make their way down the corridor, Kenobi blocks one of the blaster shots as it deflects into the glass, cracking it. Kenobi is able to use the Force and direct the incoming water at the troopers as him and Leia escape. Meeting up with Tala, Obi-Wan and Leia attempt to make their way out of the base in this ridiculous disguise. I actually can't believe they made it as far as they did. It reminded me of those cheesy disguises that they wear in old movies, or like Clark Kent wearing his glasses to hide the fact that he's Superman. I understand why it was needed, but it did look a bit ridiculous, and I just felt that if they just tried to sneak behind some crates, it just would have been a far better executed scene. But I digress. As expected, they get spotted just as they're almost home free by Reva and a platoon of stormtroopers, and just when we think they're in trouble, the cavalry that Roken put together takes out the stormtroopers and keep Reva busy while Obi-Wan and the rest of the crew are able to escape. Only one rebel didn't survive, but one is always too many. Rest in paradise, Wade, and may the Force be with you. Back at the base, Darth Vader is absolutely furious and beside himself at the fact that they were able to get away. He lifts Reva up and begins to Force choke her while the other Inquisitors watch on. Reva tells Vader that she let them escape and that she placed a tracker on them and that they will soon have the location. Vader seems pleased and lets Reva go. Back on the ship, all seems well and hope is in the air, but with Leia's droid now bugged with the tracker, that hope will soon be lost. End episode. Overall, I thought this was a pretty good episode, but definitely was my least favorite so far. As I mentioned in the watch party, this episode seemed to be a bridge or filler episode as they head toward the climactic finale. There is plenty more that fans want to see, including flashbacks with Anakin going through pain and suffering as he transitions into Darth Vader, perhaps flashbacks of him with Obi-Wan training, or even Clone Wars scenes with him and his Padawan Ahsoka Tano. A cameo by Rosario Dawson would be amazing, but at this point, I'm not getting my hopes up and I don't expect it to happen. On Obi-Wan's side of things, we still haven't heard Qui-Gon Jinn's voice to help guide him along the way. This is something that a lot of fans are hoping to see, and I'm still holding out hope that we will see it in one of these final episodes. Overall, I give this episode a 7 out of 10. A necessary episode, but definitely a bridge towards the finale as we only have 2 more episodes left. What did you guys think of this episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, as I'd love to hear your thoughts on this latest episode. Be sure to smash that like button on this video and make sure you're subscribed so you know when I'm live again for the next watch party for episode 5. Until then, I'm A to the P. Albert Perkins, and we will see you in the next video. Until then, and as always, peace.